this journey, I can't wait to get out. The beauty and the sadness of London lays quietly in every wall, in the grains of history. How can anyone be expected to compete with all that has gone before? We live in a city torn in half, one half in favour of living in a metropolis, and the other resolutely bound to the past, the time of Victoria and India, when England was the greatest power. London was a romantic city built on myth. When Jack Cade, the Kentish rebel, struck his staff, did he know what animal he was giving birth to? The skyline of London is a product of the surreal. The buildings of Sir Christopher Wren, such as St. Paul's, painstakingly rebuilt after the fire, sit uneasily alongside the sprawling Lego brick-like construction known as the Barbican. I escape from London to live in the past myself, but a much more personal past. All that is left of England's beauty for me are the green hills rolling around London's northern perimeter, the place where I once felt truly happy. As I pass through this city, I notice the old and the new thrown together in an ambiguous melee, a city no longer sure of its own identity. Every day I see the cleaners, till operatives and car park attendants helping everyone else's life function, helping the day run smoothly. In the case of the cleaners, preparing the day for others to soil. Imagine the frustration they must feel upon realizing their efforts to wipe the city clean come to virtually nil because of the idle Londoner's subconscious desire to desecrate, making London the dirtiest city in Europe. I like to think of their secret intent, not of their ambition to get on in life, but to chop up their bosses, This instinct is never as strong as when at the bottom of the ladder. On my route, I often see the same faces, ghostly faces with dead eyes. They do not go to work, nor anywhere else. They drift, going nowhere. They're not homeless, not as far as I know. They probably had a job until they realized that it does not cost much to wander. To me, they are gods. They have managed to rise above any expectations that society has of them. They wander this city, happy forever, and that's me. Although I am the acceptable face of estrangement. Not that I don't understand what it's like to want to live in domesticity. That was once my only aim. Stanley Green, or the Protein Man as he was called, carried a banner up and down Oxford Street for 25 years encouraging people to eat less protein in their diets. The masses, caught in their daily struggle for money, ignored him, obviously thinking he was one of the many ex-mental patients allowed back into the community. But it was questionable as to who was happiest, the oblivious, downtrodden masses, or Green, who had stepped out of the social prison of modern London. He had broken free of any trends imposed on him by society and chose to do what he enjoyed, however bizarre his hobby might seem to the observer. I passed them at 30 miles per hour, but the image is etched on my eyes. A couple stood in a corner and stared, and it put me in mind of how I must look staring along the road. They were close enough to feel each other's breath, but the light between them was wide. They didn't blink. For a second, everything was still. Their eyes glazed and the moment was stretched, because love wants to endure. As they stood, London's languid heart pulsed a beat from deep below the underground station, and throbbed through the warm air, rising in the earth, emerging between the cracks in the pavement to find a place between those eyes. It seemed to last forever.